So, OTB Sports is back for another series of in-depth chats with some of the biggest names in Premier League and Irish football history. With behind-the-scenes access, we're talking to some of the legendary names from the biggest clubs and meeting the crucial people from behind the scenes who make a Premier League club what it is. It's all in association with Cadbury FC, global partner of Manchester United. Check out cadburyfc.com for updates on promotions and giveaways. We are joined by a Manchester United legend, a key part of their treble-winning side. Jaap Stam is with us, and he is picking his all-time five-a-side from players he's played alongside. Remember, this is a man who wasn't just part of a great Manchester United team, part of an exceptional AC Milan side, a PSV Eindhoven team, a Dutch team, an Ajax team. He could be here all night trying to pick this team, but he has managed to whittle it down to just five. I don't think you need a goalkeeper with the quality of players you have in this side, Jaap, but you have gone with a goalkeeper. Who have you gone with?
Yeah, exactly. Schmeichel, because he's so big, he fills up that goal straight away playing in the five-a-side. So, he doesn't need to dive. No, but Pete's been a great goalkeeper. He's been a very he's a big personality, of course, in how he is. But in goal, his reach is enormous. You can see that when he played the games, of course, for us and in his whole career. But his reflections are very good as well. So that's why I picked him.
There must have been an incredible comfort as a centre half, knowing Peter Schmeichel was behind you.
No, it gives you a great feeling of security, because sometimes when we slip up, and we didn't do that too much, to be honest. But then you know that Pete's there to help you out as well. And we all know at that level you need to have a great goalkeeper, and that goalkeeper needs to give the back line a feeling of security as well, of confidence as well. Yeah. Because Pete also kept us on our toes. He was shouting at us all the time. Even when he made a mistake, he was shouting at us. to keep us sharp. For him to not needed to make these amount of saves.
You're a big man. He's a big man. Were you ever brave enough to say, "Quieten down, Peter, I've had enough"?
Yeah, well, sometimes we said it. So sometimes we had like little arguments, but that's good. That's how it needs to be.
Goalkeeping has changed pretty dramatically over the last 20 years or so. You look at the best goalkeepers in the world right now, Ederson, Alisson, how comfortable they are with the ball at their feet. Some of the best passers in the game. If we're talking five-a-side here and the ball is on the ground a lot, was that a part of Schmeichel's game that was underrated or just not utilised?
I think Pete was able to do it. We didn't. If you see football now, and even when I look at myself in how we want to play, we use the goalkeepers a lot more in possession, to use them all the time and playing back out. To finding the free man in between when you're under pressure to still play out from the back. At that time, we didn't do so. If the space was there, then we did it. But also we were told at times as well, to not risk it too much, and then sometimes be a bit more direct in going forward, because we also have players up top who can hold up that ball or can win, the headers up top as well. Even when Yorkie and Coley were not the biggest, but their timing was very good as well. So we can win and play from the second balls as well. So it's like you're saying, it's a change in philosophies of playing, and Pete was able to do it. And at times we did it, but not as much as goalkeepers are being used at this time of day.
So Peter Schmeichel is the goalkeeper in Jaap Stam's five-a-side team. You've gone with one defender, Alessandro Nesta.
Yeah,
Rolls Royce of a defender.
Yeah, no, I know him very well, because I played with Alessandro when I left United. When I went to Lazio Rome, he was there at the time as well. We had a great partnership, the two of us together in Rome when we played. He's like the modern defender in how we see each other as well, in defending in big spaces, being comfortable on the ball, carrying that ball forward at times, and finding the free men in midfield. Sometimes being ruthless in our defending as well, in what you need to be at times, in thinking or taking things very, very clinically, and also being simple at times in defending, but also good in taking up certain positions as well. So you don't need to tackle, but to read the situation and how it goes. And that's why I picked Nesta, Alessandro as well in the five-a-side as well, because when you play in on a small pitch, and you need to also have defenders who can defend, but also defenders that are comfortable on the ball and playing out and keeping the ball a little bit in possession.
Not enough space on the five-a-side pitch for a Cafu to really show his true talents.
No, I've had Marcus in my head to put him in there as well, but then when he goes forward, maybe somebody else needs to step back. Then we need to have an extra defender in there. So that's why you take Nesta as one in the middle as a centre, and then you put like an extra midfield player in there who can take up more defensive positions maybe as well.
With my green tinted Irish glasses on, I'm going to say, why not just go with the safe, the reliable Dennis Irwin?
Yeah, no, yeah. I could have gone for Dennis as well. That's and because Dennis is he is very, very, very good on the ball, and and especially because he's left and right-footed, predominantly left, but he can with his right foot and he scored goals as well. And that makes him very unpredictable to be impressed, and easy for himself and for the team as well to play out. And that's also a choice that I could have done, but there's also several others.
Yeah, there's so many great players, but Irwin, when you think of United, like he seemed like the perfect teammate. I always like to imagine that he sat there as all these big personalities said their piece, and eventually maybe 3/4 of the season he'd stand up and say his piece, and everyone would go, "Whoa, Dennis is talking. Now we know it's serious." Was he that quieter figure in the dressing room that we all imagine him to be?
Yeah, well, he was quiet, and Dennis was very well thought of. From is that the right expression? But in his comments that he made, he was very to the point in everything that he said. Also, could be very cynical at times as well in his comments, which was very funny as well at times, which was very good. But that's how he was. Dennis was a very down to earth person. He still is. We met up like a while ago as well before I went to Cincinnati, when I was in Manchester. He's still the same guy. He's very friendly, very clever guy. Very good comments about and how he thinks about life and football as well. But also very to the point in what people and players need to do at the time in doing the business, and that's how he was in the team at United as well.
Yeah, to the point is a Cork thing. You know of Cork?
Is it?
It's where Dennis Irwin and Roy Keane are both from.
Yeah.
So they do like to get to the point.
Basically are very to the point, and Roy sometimes is a little bit more excessive in that. But Dennis is also like that. And that's like I said, and every personality that we had within the team had something that contributed to what we needed to do.
Yeah, let's look at your midfield then. Even that Dutch side that you play with Seedorf and Edgar Davids in there, De Boer, like Bergkamp. You've given away. You haven't even picked Dennis Bergkamp in this five-side team, which is just outrageous. You've gone for Andrea Pirlo. It's hard to disagree with Andrea Pirlo, but again, you've got Roy Keane against Andrea Pirlo, two different type of players, but that's a tough decision.
No, it is. It is a very tough decision because when I look at the five-a-side from the United team, then of course I've got Roy in there as well. With this team, if I look at all the clubs that I played for, then I picked Pirlo because of his technical ability on the ball as well, and his passing accuracy as well. Not saying that he is that Roy is less than him, not at all. But I think still Pirlo is still a little bit of a different personality, still a little bit of a different player than Roy is in taking up his positions as well.
We are talking with Pirlo, one of the greatest midfielders really of all time. Like the way he could control the game, the way he could allow other midfielders be at their very best. We look at Paul Pogba and the relationship they had at Juventus. His ability to drop deep. Like as a centre half, you would love him. As a midfielder, you would love what he does for you. As a striker, he must be one of the most popular footballers around for what he allows other people to be able to do.
Well, he's the type of player, when you play with him, you can always give him the ball, even when he's under pressure. then he knows what to do. He needs some. He knows how to make the right decision. The advantage that you have with Pirlo as well, that he's got like also an enormous free kick. So he scored a lot from that. So from set pieces, he can give you something extra as well. But Pirlo he's very good in linking up between him and the defenders, but also with the forwards and taking up positions, and then also getting other players in position as well to link up again with him. And he's also very demanding in that. And that's that's a very good quality that he has as well.
Can you teach that? When you're coaching at Cincinnati, and what he has, his movement, the sort of movement that he has, or Luka Modric has, as you say, just little 5-yard dash, suddenly finds himself in a bit of space to pick up the ball. Can you coach that?
You coach that, and when you don't have the players who do that naturally, you try to talk to them about that. You show clips, or you tell them in sessions, in tactical sessions, in what you expect them to do. But to be really good at it, you also need to have like a natural feeling of it a little bit as well, in understanding the game, and being proactive in taking up positions, and reading the opposition. And that's a very important one. Reading the opposition and what they're trying to do, and what you then need to do to make a difference to get in position, so you can open up and play that ball forward into areas where somebody else again can be very decisive, and that's the thing that you can say a lot to players, you can talk a lot to players, and what you want them to do. You can help them out. Players will improve eventually a little bit as well. But if you have players who do this instinctively, who feel the situation, then it becomes more naturally, of course, as well. Then it goes more easy.
Schmeichel, Nesta, Pirlo. It's a nice start. You've picked a second midfielder, Paul Scholes. The one I thought might be in contention for this more maybe attacking midfield role was Kaka. But you've gone with Paul Scholes. Talk about Scholes' qualities then, and what he brought to that Manchester United side.
Yeah, because I think Scholes was one of the most underrated players in the world, basically, when he was playing. Because I think Paul was one of the best midfield players at the time when he played in his active career. Because Scholes, I think his quality was outstanding in terms of on the ball, his touches, his passing, his work rate, his sense of feeling where the space is, where he needed to be, having scoring ability as well, also having the legs to go up and down, and also defending, and also tackling and winning his 1v1s battles as well. So I think he was very complete, I think, as a midfield player in what you're asking from a midfield player. Not the biggest player in terms of like length, and how a lot of people see maybe sometimes a midfield player, but I think Scholes was exceptional in his quality and what he can and what he brought to the game, and what he brought to us as a team as well. The only thing is, Paul was also a player who was very calm off the pitch, down to earth, not wanting to be in like the limelights or in the press and everything. Doing interviews at times, but I think he was one of the best midfield players that I've played with in my career.
Wow, that is incredibly high praise considering the other players you have played with. The reason I thought Kaka was, I watched the 2005 Champions League final back recently. That first half performance from AC Milan must be up there with the greatest 45 minutes of football that's ever been played in a European final.
Yeah, no, that was exceptional, and that's also a game that you don't want to think about, especially because of the opposition, of course. But the thing is that we played very well, very dominant in scoring these goals, and you go 3-0 up, and then of course you want to keep that up, but then of course you concede within 6 minutes 3 goals, and that makes it more difficult, and that's also a blow then for us, and then for the other team it's a boost. When you do that, when you succeed in doing that. But Kaka, and why didn't I choose for Kaka? Because you could see in that when you looked at the game as well, that when he is playing in very big spaces, when he can run with the ball, he was one of the best, because he's got the space, he's got the length in his strides, he's got the pace, the ability on the ball as well run in behind from midfield to make these changes and score goals. If you need to play in tighter, smaller areas, after Milan, he went to Real Madrid. And then it's a little bit of a different, still a very good player, still one of the best players, but needing to play in tighter areas, smaller spaces, then it becomes a little more difficult or different for him to play in as well. And I think Scholesy is more suitable to do so.
Scholes and Pirlo, you're not going to get the ball back too easily against that five-a-side team. So your striker, I was thinking about this and who you might go with, and Dennis Bergkamp was very close to the top of the list. You played alongside Patrick Kluivert at his absolute peak with the Dutch side as well. You had
Van Nistelrooy,
Van Nistelrooy, Shevchenko, the four Manchester United players who brought such glory that season. You've gone with a player that I forgot that you'd actually played with. Ronaldo, the real Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo.
Yeah, the real. Well, the other ones, the
other ones doing a good job of making himself the real Ronaldo. So you played with Ronaldo right at the beginning at PSV Eindhoven.
Yeah, because when I joined PSV, Romario just left PSV Eindhoven, and PSV Eindhoven had a connection with Brazil. They had some people over there who did the scouting work for them as well, and they brought in Ronaldo from Brazil, and he was there already before I joined PSV. But then when I joined PSV and when I played with him, you see so much quality that was really unbelievable for a young guy coming from Brazil to Holland, where it was always raining and cold as well. But basically saying before the start of the season, this season I'm gonna score 34 goals, and also achieving that or maybe scoring more, and seeing that he with the ball he's faster than the majority of the players within the league without the ball, and getting past 4 or 5 plays and still the ball ends up in the back of the net. That's unbelievable to see, and even in training sessions, and then if you look after. When he left PSV, when I went to Barcelona as well, and the quality that he showed over there as well. It was really exceptional to see a player who was that comfortable with the ball and running forward and being chased by 3-4 defenders, and then still have the composure to score goals or to give it to somebody else to score a goal. I haven't seen a lot of these players, to be honest.
And he's 18 or 19. He's a teenager in that first season at PSV when he goes and scores 34, 35 goals.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you getting an opportunity to mark him in training? Are you talk about the best possible education you could ever get, having to be close to Ronaldo and figure out how to stop a player like that?
Yeah, no, and we spoke about it before when I joined United. At that time at PSV, you train against him. You need to take up positions. He is very unpredictable in what he's doing, because that's how good he is. You never know in how he's positioning himself in what he's going to do. With a lot of strikers, the majority of strikers I played against, you already know from the start, okay, this guy is looking for this, or he's trying to do this, or he's trying to drop deeper at certain areas, or then making these runs, or when he touches the ball, when he controls it, he always does it with the inside of his right foot. But with Ronaldo, you never knew what he was going to do, because he was, the quality, his technical ability was so good, his pace was so good as well, that you never knew in the situation when he got that ball what his angle was in trying to free himself up, or to make a run, or to link up with players, and that was, of course, very good for me to train against these players, so you can see yourself as well, how you can cope with that quality. The other thing that I need to say at times as well, that Ronaldo, when he came over and it was very cold in Holland, that sometimes in sessions he was happy to go off the pitch as well, to go in, to sit in front of the stove basically to warm up as well. So there were
what was he like as a personality in terms of confidence? Like at that age of still a teenager, did he just exude confidence? Did he know he was the real deal even at that stage?
Well, he knew his ability, his quality. So he was not a player that needed to work hard in training sessions and to score 10 goals in training sessions to have confidence to do it in the game as well. He went into the training session and he did his bits and he did his drills. Like I said, when he came and everybody saw his ability as well. we knew that if he got that ball in certain areas, that he would score. So we didn't mind him not to train hard or not to do everything what the coach expected him to do or what we expected him to do, because with a player like that, and it's the same with Ronaldo now at United, when he gets in areas, he's going to score anyway. He's going to take the opportunity. So that's why you don't mind also running a little bit more for a player like him or like them who have that ability as well. So he was very confident, and he just said before games as well, or in training sessions as well, don't worry, on Saturday there's the game, so on Saturday I'll be there to show what I can do, and that's how he. And it looks simple, but that's how he approached that the game as well at times.
Did you ever get to party with him?
No, I didn't. I didn't go to the party. I think
that's a missed opportunity right there, Jaap. I know you were young and been as professional as you could be, but partying Ronaldo's it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
No, but when he joined PSV, and you said it yourself, he was very young, so he was happy. He was in his house. He had some friends over, or family, and his agents over who helped him out. And at that time, of course, he knew that he still needed to produce, because he knew as well going to Europe from Brazil was a step forward to go eventually to the big leagues in Europe, like Spain. And that's how they approached it as well, to show your ability within a couple of seasons and then make that next step. And then you're one of the big boys in Europe, and then you earn the right to party a little bit more, I think, and that's what he did. That's what he did.
Sure did. Jaap, I think we will do well to top this five-a-side of players you've played with. Peter Schmeichel, Alessandro Nesta, Andrea Pirlo, Paul Scholes and Ronaldo. It is a heck of a team. They're going to win every game they ever play. Jaap, brilliant stuff. What a pleasure I'm sure it was for you to play with all those players through the years as well. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's all in association with Cadbury FC, global partner of Manchester United. Check out cadburyfc.com for updates on promotions and giveaways.